Tuesdays for this Tuesday, November 16th, 2021. I am your host, Russ Williams. I'm so glad you could be here today. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm quite aware you could have been anywhere in this world today. I know you could have been anywhere in this world today, but you decided to be here with me, and I appreciate that. And more importantly, I appreciate you. So welcome to Transition Tuesdays, my good friends, my good transition army here. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, we have an action-packed show. I got a special guest you're seeing on the screen. I'm going to introduce this special guest and bring him out the right way. But before they do that, a couple of housewarming announcements and give whatever we call it. But know that Transition Tuesdays is powered by Native Of. Now, Native Of is the t-shirt company that combines the creativity of black pop culture with the resilient ability black people have to occupy a space and make it their own. So after the show, ladies and gentlemen, head over to nativeof.com and get your very important merch. All right, make sure you do that. Now, before we begin, I always like to say, make another announcement, which are my intentions. And my intentions to give you the opportunity to laugh, smile, think, and engage in honest conversations about your life's transition. So that's what we do here on Transition Tuesdays. And speaking of honest conversations, I have my special guest, and I'm going to read this extensive bio for my special guest. So bear with me, ladies and gentlemen. There's a lot to be said about this amazing young man, all right? But before we do that, we got Felicia checking in from Rockville, Maryland. What's going on, Felicia? Welcome to Transition Tuesdays. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So, my special guest is a 1978 graduate of Manhattan College with degrees, not one, but 2 degrees in economics and history. He graduated from Hofstra Law School with a JD in 1982. My guest has practiced law since then, presently in Bahamas. I always butcher that. How do you pronounce it there, special guest? Paramus. Thank you so much, sir. Paramus, New Jersey. From 2016 through 2019, my guest served as president of the Manhattan College Alumni Society. We're going to talk about that. And he also served 2 terms, not one, but 2 terms as mayor of the borough of Emerson, New Jersey, for 2007 to 2010. And then from 2015 to 2018. So a 2-term man, oh man, very impressive. And my guest has been married to his lovely wife, Janine, for 38 years. I want to see how that ticks. I want to know. I want to get all the information. I want all of it from my special guest. And my special guest met his lovely wife on the campus of Manhattan College. And they got married at the Manhattan College Chapel. We're going to talk about that as well. And my special guest has 2 children, one of which is presently a junior at Manhattan College. And listen to this, ladies and gentlemen. My special guest faithfully follows the Manhattan College basketball team, having not missed a NCAA tournament appearance since 1991. And he is on his way. He's going to be departing tomorrow for Florida to accompany the team to their Disney trip. So, ladies and gentlemen, Transition Army, please help me welcome Mr. Lou Lamattina to the show. Lou, what's going on? I'm trying to get your applause button here, Mom. Oh my God, it's gonna come. Hold on, Lou. Don't say anything yet. Hold on. I gotta bring you out right there, Lou. You know that. Here we go. There it is. What's going on, Lou?
How you doing? Thanks for having me. Just one small correction. I'm class of 79, not 78. I'm not that old.
Oh, there you go. I'm so sorry. My apologies on that. Yes.
I have a special guest for you.
What you got?
Daughter Allison. There she is.
Wait, hold on. What we got?
I don't know why she's wearing a Jet shirt. I mean, that's just wrong, but she is.
Oh, man. Hey, Lou, man, as you know the show, you've seen the show, and I play music for my guests, right? So I'm going to play a tune for you. I want you to tell me what you thought about when you first heard this song. I'm going to take a shot in the dark here. I'm going to hope that you like this particular tune. And if you don't, I got a backup too. So I'm going to play this tune. You tell me what you think. Tell me about the first time you heard this song. All right, hold on 1 second. Here we go. Do you know who that is there, Lou?
Of course I know who it is. I was born in Red Jersey. I hate the song when I heard it, but Bruce, love Bruce.
Dancing in the Dark. Do you remember the first? Do you remember what you were doing the first time you heard that song, Lou?
God, no. What happened yet? Anyway.
Now, I wasn't sure. Well, I know you would love The Boss, but I'm gonna play another doozy for you too. You tell me what you think about this guy. Now, this guy, I happen to like this guy a lot too. But let me play this song. Tell me what you think about this one. Here you go. Hold on. Can you hear that? Well, this is Uptown Girl by Billy Joel. Oh, hey, if I didn't know you like Frankie Valli, I could pull up some Frankie Valli for you.
Billy Joel, I went to law school out in Hopkins, so we actually saw him out in Nassau Coliseum when I was there. Big Joel fan. My law school roommate was a huge fan, so we learned a lot about Billy Joel.
Wow, that's great, man.
And you know something, staying power. They've been around so long.
Absolutely. Does it? I think The Boss has a podcast with President Obama. I think he does, right? Something like that.
I saw that. Yep.
Yeah, yep. And Billy Joel's still selling out the Garden. I think he has the record for the most sellouts at the Garden's history. I believe something like that. Some crazy number.
One of my favorite groups is the group America that has been around now 51 years. I've been seeing a lot recently. I don't know much about America, but very soft rock. A lot of ballads, a lot of love songs that I sort of grew up with. So really love America, Chicago, of course the Beatles, and the Who. Those are my groups.
There you go.
Which is just amazing.
There you go. Hey Lou, man, talk to me about that jersey you got in the background there. Who was that? Walt Frazier?
So that's Walt Frazier. I bought a lot of stuff off Steiner Sports. I'll actually give you a little tour if you don't mind.
Sure, absolutely. What you got there?
It's my basement in the sky, I call it. This is my third floor of my house.
Okay.
So I've got Mookie
Wilson
and Bill Buckner.
Wow. Now, wow, that's a great thing. Now, hey, Lou, while we're talking, did you see the 30 for 30 doc on the Mets?
I did not.
Ooh, you got to see that.
A lot of TV.
Okay, gotcha. All right, what else you got?
Well, I mean, these are some great things. Tom Seaver, Jerry Kuzman, Nolan Ryan, autograph.
Whoa.
So this is what you and I talked about before. This is Darrell Brown's actual jersey.
The great Darrell Brown from Manhattan College, man, Hall of Famer.
I found it online somewhere. I think I paid $10 or $20 for it. You can see it signed by Darrell himself.
Wow.
And Coach Gonzo. So I saw Darrell maybe at one of your reunions, and I told him about it. He goes, "Well, what did it go for? How much?" I told him $20. He was so deflated, disappointed.
Wow. Hey, I tell you what, Lou, if you had a signed jersey of mine, you'd probably get $1 for it.
Well, maybe we'll take you up on that. So I got my Masiello bobblehead right here.
Whoa, okay.
My Manhattan area. I got my Jasper head covers.
Man.
Oh, I'm really proud of this. This was taken in Orlando in 2014. That's the head, if you remember the head. And as you see in back of me, back of him is me.
Man.
And this picture was actually on Yahoo Sports under Fanatics, and it was like the #1 photo. Of course, the photo was of the head, but I happened to be in it. That's pretty cool.
That is cool.
Then I got my Mets. I got my Mets seats down there.
Oh, so you're a Met fan. I never knew that, Lou.
Yeah, I've been long suffering. So this again is my upstairs. We rarely get up here, but this is our playroom.
Now, how are you playing pool, man? Are you a pool shark? I bet you are.
Not really. No, not really.
Okay.
So this is another thing. This is a signed basketball from the Gonzo squad. Trying to think of this. Jason Benton, 51.
Oh, absolutely, yes.
Right there.
I had Jason as a guest here on Transition Tuesdays. Yeah, shout out to you, Jason.
Kenny Myers.
Oh, Kenny Meyer.
Dave Holmes.
Dave Holmes. Oh, yes, another guest.
So we actually did this as a group. Chris Callion and a few of us had a Jasper club together.
Mm-hmm.
And we, they had a signing. We had Bobby and the team, sign everything. And that makes up a big part of my sports room up here.
That is big. That shrine, the man cave that you have.
And then this, of course, which I don't.
Ooh, you got that Lou Flores's?
Yeah, it's not his jersey though. I think it's just something I found.
Okay.
I do have my Lou Flores pro basketball cards.
Wow, man. So, hey, Lou, let's get after it, man. Let's get into it. So, what makes? I mean, you are like a super fan, especially with the Jaspers. Like, what? How did this passion come about for you being this super fan, man?
Well, it started as a student. We go to the games. It was actually called Follow the Five. You'd go to a game because there wasn't much to do on campus.
Mm-hmm.
Basketball, played some ball, nothing organized,
Mm-hmm.
nothing. And late 80s, early 90s, we started going to some games.
Mm-hmm.
So wound up going to the NCAA tournament in 1991 when they played Virginia up in Syracuse, lost by 12.
Mm-hmm.
And the first time someone commented, Brother Scanlon saw us in the crowd, and he said, it's like a Tuesday at 1 o'clock. Are you retired or do you work? I said, yeah, I work, but I first set my basketball schedule, then I set my work schedule.
Wow.
So that's known for 1991.
Mm-hmm.
And as you said, tomorrow we're heading down to Orlando to watch the Jaspers Friday and Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
Got a planning board meeting tomorrow night at 7:30. I've got hearings on Thursday, which I'll do remotely now. So, I don't let work get in the way of Jasper basketball. It's never a good idea.
Mm-hmm. That is cool stuff, man. So, yeah, you are that resident super fan. I'm dubbing you super fan there, Lou. Has anybody ever called you super fan? What you got there, man? What's in that cup?
Cups, of course. I only drink from Jasper cups.
That's some good stuff, man. Hey, so Lou, man, let's bring it all the way back. So, I know you're from Jersey. Are you from a small family, big family? Talk to me a little bit about growing up in Jersey.
I'm an only child.
Really? Okay.
Yep. Father was a mason, which is a fancy name for a bricklayer. Mother was a housewife.
Mm-hmm.
So I am first generation. Grew up until 1990. We sold our house.
Mm-hmm.
Mom moved with us, but unfortunately she passed away 3 months after moving.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
Important point about that is the house I grew up in fits within the pool at my house. My pool is 20 by 40. Our house was 16 by 36.
Mm.
My mother got to see it, which was nice.
Mm-hmm.
She had cancer and passed away after 3 months, but she saw the house, which is, a nice house on 3/4 of an acre, a lot of land.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a transition if we want to talk transitions.
Right, absolutely.
My wife and I lived with her for 7 years because my dad had passed away when I was in law school.
Oh, okay.
So, I felt bad just leaving her.
Sure.
So we're ready to move out of the house we grew up in. Let's do it. We move with us. So that's why we're here ever since.
Mm-hmm. So, Lou, how was it? Talk to me about a typical day in a Labatino family household when you were growing up. Give me like a typical day, man, for you. You being the only child, though, too. Did you entertain yourself? What'd you do, man? A lot of friends? Talk to me a little bit about that.
Back in the 70s, what did you do?
Mm-hmm.
You walked to the courts, you dribbled to the school 9 blocks away and played ball.
Right.
Maybe got a pizza or a hot chocolate in cold weather.
Mm-hmm.
You played street hockey. You studied a little bit. I was a decent student, not a great student.
Right.
And you had nothing. You watched TV. You listened to the Knicks. You see my Walt Frazier jersey. I
That's
remember
right.
listening to the Knicks. Couldn't afford cable, so we have to go across the street to the people who had cable.
Mm-hmm.
And what a different existence from then to now.
Yep.
I don't know how I would have, the me of now would have survived then, because I just can't still. I'm work or do something other than talk to you. So I usually do 2 or 3 things at once. Very different from when I was growing up. It was, hey, I wanted to be a history teacher. I had no inclination to be a lawyer. Just basically, had no direction until I got to Manhattan. And that was a huge transition. My uncle, who was the only pencil pusher in the family, I was a history major, and he said, "Why don't you go to law school?" I said, "Okay." And I decided to take a double major, only because if I didn't get into law school, I figured let me have something to fall back on other than history. And I did well in economics, so that really helps in a lot of ways, both in my practice and in my, I'm a businessman. I own a lot of real estate. And, one thing I learned in Manhattan, buy low, sell high, or don't sell, refinance, and leverage your money. So
wow.
I've been doing 20 or 30.
Man, that's great stuff. That's key to life, what you just mentioned there, Lou.
I bought an office building in 1995. I refinanced it twice and bought some real estate from that. And that's what you do. It's my advice to anyone younger or anyone who can do it, buy some real estate in a good location. Location. Paramus is either the highest or the second highest grossing zip code in the country. Harold Square was first. Honolulu might be first. I'm not sure, but we're definitely in the top 5. Malls, and that's where my office building is, right off Route 17 and 4 in Paramus.
Wow. Hey, Lou, we got on here now who's just joining us. Well, he's commenting. We got the voice of the Jaspers. We got Chris Uncle Smooth Williams joining us, and he and he says no smooth memorabilia there.
Not yet. I'm trying to look around. Would he have signed? No, I don't think so.
I don't think so. Nah, he probably wouldn't have signed. Well, maybe you get one of his microphones. When he does the games and stuff like that. Maybe you can have that on, as a keepsake. Maybe he might donate that to you there, Lou.
Maybe one of his jackets. Frankly, I mean, he's one of the smoothest dressed persons I've ever seen. Just amazing. Yeah,
they don't call him smooth for nothing,
I'm just looking at my bookcase. I probably have a program or a yearbook from when he was on the team. So maybe I'll take that out and bring it down with me.
Okay.
Actually, you too. I have to go look now. I got stuff from the 73 Mets, newspaper articles. I was there in 73 in the series. So got a lot of stuff. But that's a good point. I mean, Louis was great. Louis played, in New Jersey when he played for Denver. I think we got to meet him. We went and we went to the game, and that was an exciting time for Manhattan. I actually have like 20 or 30 cards. I don't know where I got them.
Wow.
So, maybe someday we'll make some money on these and get Louis to sign them.
There you go. Oh man, that is cool, man. So, hey, I want to ask you, Lou, why Manhattan College? Because I ask people all the time, from athletes to just people who are, just students at Manhattan College. Why did you choose Manhattan, or did Manhattan College choose you? What was your story there?
Great question. And, I'm involved in alumni and admissions and talking to people. And you know that right now I've got a kid, Pete DeRocher, who I was instrumental in getting there, playing baseball. He's going to be an outfielder, one of the stars. Next semester, we have Jamie Filatico just signed yesterday to play softball. Her dad and I in the council. He was a councilman. So I talk to people a lot, and I talk to prospective students. But the reason I went, very simple. My parents were older. I wanted to commute. I was at Manhattan, Fordham, and NYU. So Mom said, you don't want to go to the city, too dangerous. And you don't want to go to Fordham, it's too dangerous. So we went up to Manhattan. He goes, you should go here. I said, okay. That was about it.
That was it, huh?
I knew it had a good reputation. I knew, and the other interesting story, I remember watching Manhattan Fordham 1974, my friend's house, and I said to my friends, I'll go to the school that wins this game. Well, you know who won? Fordham won. So, thankfully I didn't do that. I decided to go to Manhattan, and again, it's changed my life dramatically.
Oh man, this is true, and because of that, I want to talk about how you met your wife, your lovely wife at Manhattan College. So I wanna know who was the first one, who made the first move, the first initiative to meet each other, and I'm gonna share with the audience, Lou, if you allow me to do so. I remember you and I had a conversation, and you told me, I wrote it down here. Where is this here? You said that Jeannie was out of your league when you first met her and you were dating, right? Is that correct? So talk to us about the story.
But there's a story. So it was a blind date. So I really couldn't see her because I was blind. But then I regained my sight. I just pushed her. But yeah, my roommate set me up, and I was immediately, smitten. With her. But yeah, I was like, this is great, and it's gone pretty well. Well, fairly well, pretty well. It's gone well.
It's going extraordinarily well there, Lou. Come on now.
We had ups and downs.
Sure.
Stuff and this and that, but finally we got married on campus, which was great. I had my law school friends there, and I didn't stay in touch with Manhattan people because I went to law school, so I really know no one from when I was there. Everybody I met is through basketball and the alumni society, and what I'm trying to print my daughter is you may not be that excited now like I was, and I did nothing when I was in Manhattan, but once you're out, this is your family.
Yeah.
ACC, 40, 35, 40 years. Bill Harkins down in Spring Lake, we'll pop in on him. You have a whole family throughout the tri-state area.
Right.
And that's, why Manhattan. So I can tell you now why people should choose Manhattan over, say, a South Jersey school, Albany, upstate. Because if you're going to be in this area, you want to be able to socialize and have your social life based, on your school and people common interest. And that's what we have. We have people that have LaSallian values that help. Right. And one in my brief bio was I do pro bono representation of domestic violence victims for trials. So that's part of my LaSallian, heritage to give back. And sometimes it's hard because some of these people are very difficult to deal with, but I do it. And we have the same kind of beliefs and morals. So, if you believe in God and Catholicism, it's a good place to go to continue your beliefs. And like I said, it is your social life. I was getting pretty bored until last Tuesday when the first game of the season came. Right. I just like to get out every couple of days and go to a game, and you go to dinner, you hang, you talk, and I tell you, what game were you at? The Fordham or the Fordham game? Yeah, I was at the Fordham game. Yep. I mean, I had Pete Janney, a kid I met. He works for athletics now. He's a junior. Pete DeRocha came up to me. What's his name? Greg Shaw, whose son is now signed to play baseball. Yeah, I saw Greg down with his family in Broadway Joe's after the game. Yep. Because his wife actually pitched for Pagoda, and we actually met her at Knickerbocker Country Club when we were doing programs there, to accept the students. So he was came here, and all of a sudden Greg sends me a text. My son just signed. I'm like, great. So he came up. So I really felt like, the president was sitting over there, but no one was really going up to him. Everyone was coming up to me, which was pretty wild. Right. And then Charlie, guy works in the school, Charles, in back of us, he was sitting back of me, so we caught up. So, it's like old home week, and it's I consider the campus my second home. A few homes, but because that's my second home. Right. Because I'm comfortable there. Oh, that's great. That's great. Hey, so look, I want to share with the audience. I want you to share with the audience. I know, with your wife, you guys have I don't know if it's on your wedding anniversary or is it a dating anniversary, but you guys go to a special place every year. Can you talk to me a little bit about that, Lou? Well, not every year, but we go to the finest restaurant in New York City, 5-star dining. We blow about $1,000 every time. So what we have done past few years is go to White Castle, of course. White Castle. Try tried it, don't knock it. They do a whole Valentine's Day. They have waiter service, and
Really?
and you can bring your own booze. So we brought champagne, and champagne and chocolate shakes go very well. Try it one day.
Wow. Okay. So do you do this at the White Castle in Jersey, or do you do the one in the Bronx? Or where do you guys go?
We've done it in Little Ferry. There's a White Castle, Little Ferry.
Okay.
Trying to think we went to any other ones. And it just so happened we were driving home one day, and I don't know if I saw it on Facebook, but I saw, White Castle Valentine's Day. So my daughter, Allison, was in the car. She must have been about 50. She refused to go. So we had to drive her home, and then my wife and I went to White Castle. And it's just tons of fun. I mean, we've got pictures.
Mm-hmm.
I like going nice places. I also like going places like White Castle or just something simple.
Mm-hmm. What is your do you have a go-to burger or slider when you get to White Castle, or is it what?
Either fish nibblers or fried clams and a Diet Coke.
Wow.
I've had that. The other thing is that the one in White Castle, the one in Little Ferry, steps from the courthouse.
Mm-hmm.
So once a week, I would literally, my car wouldn't allow me to go anywhere but to White Castle's parking lot, and I'd get my look. But athletes have like 2% body fat. I'm actually 2% White Castle.
There you go. I'm with you on that too, Lou. No doubt about it. Hey, so Lou, let's talk about, because you've done some extraordinary things, man. Like I mentioned earlier in your bio, you served 2 terms as mayor of the borough of Emerson. And, what did that experience as mayor teach you? What did it teach you personally? Did it teach you anything?
Resilience.
Mm.
Anything that doesn't kill you makes you stronger.
Mm-hmm.
And because I told you this, I just had a stent put in. I had a 70% blockage of my LAD. Some of which is lifestyle. I have diabetes. But, a lot of it's stress. And I definitely feel that the 4 years, especially my second term, contributed to my heart disease.
Uh-huh.
So, and people say to me, you're going to run again. And I will not say anything publicly, but I really, really strongly doubt it.
Okay.
Because it's not worth it anymore. I accomplished, in my second term, I got a road revised, about a $4 million project that's been in the works for 80 years.
Wow.
I reduced municipal taxes,
Uh-huh.
and I got development done that was started in 1999, and we still lost. And with that kind of record, you'd think you'd win in a landslide, but my town is 40% Republican, 20% Democratic.
Okay.
The rest are all good. They sort of follow the mix. So figure it's 40, 60, 55, 35, 55 or 65, 35 Republican, Democrat, and I'm a Democrat.
Okay.
So first time I won, it was with a coalition with 2 Republicans, 2 Democrats, and 3 of us got elected. 1 did not.
Uh-huh.
Second, the mayor had done such a bad job, I ran alone. Nobody on my, there was another mayor guy running for mayor with 2 candidates for council.
Mm-hmm.
I just did everything myself, and I won 55 to 45.
Wow.
So basically, it tells you can accomplish something if you bust your ass, and what I did.
Sure.
One of the things Steve has this guy saying, or like I said over the years, hard work, and you can't be afraid of hard work. So work my ass off.
Mm-hmm.
I hit town, and I'm a guy who should be governing a town with my real estate background, law background, and we had lots of issues that were important. So one reason I was unelected was this development in town is going to be 4 stories, and the person who won as mayor, ran on, it's too big a building for our downtown. It's got to be 3 stories.
Uh-huh.
And that was important to people. So, and the thing is, the next town, right up Kennecott Road, has a 5-story development. And this is all essentially fueled by the affordable housing doctrine in New Jersey.
Okay.
Where the Supreme Court back in 1975 said there's a constitutional right for people to have affordable housing in the state of New Jersey.
Mm-hmm.
So we are going to force municipalities to make it available for developers to build multifamily affordable housing.
Okay.
So of that 147 units downtown, 29 are going to be affordable.
Wow.
And affordable is also talked about today in low-income housing.
Uh-huh.
And I don't want to get political or anything, but, you know, some of the people against it say we don't want those kind of people in our town.
Mm-hmm.
And I heard a mayor say that, a female mayor from another town, and I don't know how I didn't choke on my food. Because, you know, kind of people include doctors, include police officers, you know, people that can't afford to buy a house.
Yeah.
They want to stay in, nurses, workers. So it's very important, and I would have done the same thing 1,000 times that I did, which is break the tie to allow for that fourth story.
Right.
So
understood.
project under construction now after the current mayor delayed it for 2 or 3 years, and I really can't wait for it to go up. You will definitely see pictures on Facebook once it goes up.
Nice.
Years. So that's what I learned. You know, it's when you're responsible to run a town, because you have a borough administrator, but you are basically the chief executive officer. You're running the town, making this. It's a huge responsibility.
Absolutely.
It all brings with it, you know, what's the problem today? What's going to happen? Who's upset that their garbage wasn't picked up? Who's upset at you for saying something on Facebook? So, you know, it's great saying having done. It's great saying, hey, I played ball for Manhattan. I'm in the Hall of Fame. Great. It's great. It's an accomplishment. That's what we do as we get older. As you saw, we got a lot of accomplishments, and now's the time to say, yeah, let's sit back and enjoy. So
definitely. Did you ever inspire to be in politics, or is this just like happenstance type of deal that this came about, or?
From way back from when I lived in North Bergen in Hudson County, I ran in 1987 against the machine. Myself and another lawyer, Chris Rojas. Do you remember Gloria Rojas, the newscaster?
Oh yeah, I do. Absolutely, yeah.
Chris and I run with three other guys. We were both endorsed by the local paper. We lost 10-1. There was never a chance.
Wow.
Started. Look, it's good for my practice. I'm in a variety of different ways.
Yeah.
But I also, you know, I sort of like to give back. I'm somebody who I think should be governing a town or working, you know, in some round of government. But then that's how it started. I've run many times here. When you're down 65-35 in registration, you don't win that often. So we've councilman from 95 to 97, but I ran with a very popular mayor who's never lost, a Democratic mayor, Owen Cassidy. So that to me for him, but the other 2 years were all me, which was nice.
That's good. That's good. Yeah. So Lou, you know, you got that leadership trait, man. So talk to me about, you know, you serving as president of the Manhattan College Alumni Society. What were some of your highlights? And I would say one of the highlights for me was you're a master recruiter because you recruited me to the Manhattan College Alumni Society. So I thank you for that, you know. And but, you know, what were some of your highlights during your administration?
Well, I appreciate that, shout out, Russ. And that was a highlight.
Thank you.
Let me tell you how it came about. Tom McCarthy, one day when I was going to the meetings, and by the way, the reason I got involved is Bill Harkins had said to me, why don't you join the Alumni Society? I'm like, eh. So my daughter Lauren and I are driving down the shore one day, and she says, why don't we stop by Bill's? Or I said, let's stop by. And at that point, he pushed, and I joined. And so I was at a meeting, and Tom and why can't the prior president, Joe Dillon.
Okay.
You know, they during dinner and said, look, have you considered becoming president? Well, flattered. He goes, yeah, well, you know, the society is known as being a bunch of old white guys sitting around a table. So in my 50s and was, quote, young.
Right.
And I said, yeah. There were some hiccups. I'm not going to go into that, but eventually I did get elected. And, you know, when I was vice president, Meg Ryan, Meg, you know what I mean, Meg.
Right.
You know, she was the president. She said we should be getting more people in. So that I took that very seriously. You, Chris Williams, spoke to Bullock the other night. Join us next meeting. I got students to go. I'm just bad with names these days. The attorney on the executive committee. So I brought her.
Oh yeah, right, yeah.
So some people from town. Brian Gatens was in for a while. Brian, wasn't he your?
Yes,
manager?
yes, he was my manager. Yep, at Manhattan College. Yep, Brian Gatens, absolutely. Shout out to you, Brian, if you're listening.
He just found he couldn't really take the time to do
Yeah.
it.
Yep, lot on his plate. Lot on his plate.
Might have been a little frustrated because one of the negatives is we don't get a lot of things done. As a society, and as Terry will say, we're there to support the school. We had some controversial issues. We had the Columbus Day issue,
Right.
which was very frustrating. We had the Kelly Commons issue, which I will not get into. Yes, about one thing not to talk about. Let's not talk about.
Okay.
Pressing ones, and I remember sitting on my boat at the end of June saying, I cannot wait for this month to end, because that's when that was going on.
Right.
It's not an issue now. A high point is serving as a trustee, because they have wonderful dinners after the trustee meetings. I got to tell you, it's funny because I've heard that the last meeting was somewhat contentious, the last board meeting, and I can't talk more about that.
Right.
That's funny. When I was on the board, 5:25, everyone knows cocktails at 5:30 and dinner. It ended real quick, but not this time. So the school is undergoing some issues right now.
Yeah.
And people are getting a little cranky, and that's not good. But again, the highlights are, and my wife. Again, women.
Yeah.
Committee. They've asked her about being vice president, and I think she'll, hopefully she'll be on the rung, and let's have her get vetted and possibly be officer or president one day.
Absolutely. Yeah. No doubt about that. Yep. I can see that.
Yeah. So that's what during my meetings we had a lot of students. We had students. I think I told you we had 5 Emerson kids graduate from Manhattan last year out of a class of 90.
Wow.
So on the numbers, that's a pretty big percentage.
Absolutely. That's great percentage. Yep.
Nadia Tani, who, of course, was an Emerson student. She's a co-winner of the gun medal.
Yes.
She's from Emerson.
Wow. Look at that. the 6 degrees of Lou Lamartino, I tell you, man.
And this one, I'll tell you a funny story about that. When she was a senior in high school, I was a mayor, and her counselor said, we'd like to do a letter of accommodation. She was given a recognition by the Daughters of the American Revolution for her contributions to the area. So one better. I'll write the letter and I will bring it and give it to her. So it's a church in Ridgewood. There are literally 20 people there, 19 of which were family. So she walks in, she goes, "What are you doing here?" "I'm here to give you a letter accommodation." And she just sort of look on her face was like crazy.
Priceless.
And some of us were crying a little bit. Wink, wink. I think it was me too, but it was very emotional. So then she goes on and wins the gun medal.
Yeah.
So it was special. And what I said to her, why you did that? I said, that's what Jaspers do. You get the award. I'm sitting home on a Sunday. I'm going to go over. I'm going to wear a suit. I'm going to give you the award. And appreciated it. And like I said, she's a superstar.
Yeah. Absolutely. And Lou, man, so again, many accomplishments for you, man. You well-traveled guy, and people don't know, like, you were my sponsor to get me into the Hall of Fame. If it wasn't for you going after it, I don't know what you do. You got the secret sauce, Lou, but when you're on the case, that person is getting in. So talk to me, Lou, about how are you? What's your secret on swaying the Hall of Fame committee to see things your way? I got to know your secrets there, Lou. How do you do it, man?
Picking the right candidate helps. But like anything else, and you can answer the question yourself, hard work.
Yeah.
And I haven't done one recently. I did Jamal, and I know I did Ricky Marsh.
Right.
And Jamal didn't want to go in. We had he was in as a team member, but he didn't want to go individually, and he gave perhaps the best acceptance speech, I've seen. I gotta say, Chris Williams was first, but maybe.
What about mine, Lou? You didn't like mine? What was going on? Now I'm the host of the show. Now you gotta give me some love.
I gotta be honest, I don't remember it.
Wow.
Did you have it recorded?
But I think so. I don't know, man. Maybe it's burnt. Maybe a lot of people didn't think the same way.
I'm on the beach in Florida. I'll watch it down there. But, Chris was like, you could have listened to him for 3 hours. He was just so moved.
Yep.
And Jamal was just so deadpan funny. It's just so self-depreciating. And he was so funny. I don't remember yours. And one of the things I want, honesty, and it hurts sometimes, but I just don't remember.
That's okay. That's okay. Hey, a lot of people didn't remember. It's all good. Don't worry about that, Lou. But Jamal, I tell Jamal all the time, because Jamal is one of the funniest guys I know. And I know Jamal, he dabbled in stand-up. He did stand-up comedy one time, and he was good. I saw a nice videotape of him, and I want Jamal to continue to do that. Something, maybe a push from somebody else too, but Jamal is a funny, hilarious guy, man, and I think he should continue that. And it showed on that video. It showed on his Hall of Fame speech.
I did not know that, and interestingly, I do work with a guy named Vince Sicari. He's also known as Vince August. You want to look him up on Facebook. He has a page. He's a stand-up comedian. He was also a municipal court judge in South Hackensack. And the Supreme Court forced him to give up either the judgeship or being a comedian. So he chose the judgeship. He gave it up.
Wow.
So he's a practicing attorney. I do work with him every couple of weeks. We do hearings. But he opens for Trevor Noah. And he warms up Today Show. We just saw him a couple of Fridays ago. He's hysterical. He's just so funny.
Wow.
But the guy that if Jamal ever wanted to, I put him in touch with Vince. But make a note, Vince August.
All right.
Follow him. He's just, and he'll always be commenting on things.
Okay. Wow. So you know what, Lou? Jamal Marshall. I've been trying to get Jamal on the show. Jamal is the all-time winningest basketball player in the school's history. I've been clamoring for this guy to get on the show. I know he watches, so Jamal, we're going to get you in contact with that young man. We got to see you on stage, man. I think that's your destiny. I really do.
Well, what's it worth to you, Russ? Because I can, for a price, I can talk to Jamal and maybe get it set up.
Oh, I don't know, but hey, you own everything, man, so
Bucks.
All right.
As you can probably tell, it comes from being a lawyer,
right?
From a dad, being a husband and running a town. You got to learn how to make your arguments, make your points without offending people, which is not easy.
Right.
And people know me in Manhattan, obviously.
Sure.
Like a George Score, for example, he puts someone up, Joe Ryan. People are going to vote for him. So a lot of it might depend on who the sponsor is.
Yep.
And a lot depends upon your work. And, as I was saying, you go down the archives, you get information, you make arguments. Like yours. I remember yours. We make arguments like why, because maybe your stats weren't as good as somebody else, but you bring up, and again, I forget. But you were part of the transition, correct?
That is correct. The Renaissance. We were my crew was part of that Renaissance.
You can score 10 points and just have not a great stat line, but if you're turning things around, that's important. And that's what I try to argue for people I try to get in the Hall of Fame. My hands, I'll look for somebody else, but I'm amazed at how people come up with things. And, Carey was, of course, a great pick. And, and it's true, like I said to him, I would always say we need a guy like Carey who's 6'5", can do everything.
Yep.
We got that guy in Perez right now, but if you watched last night, Perez had a great first half and disappeared. Just disappeared. It was just sad. But anyway.
Yeah. Well, let's hope they do better. Better in Florida too. So that should be a good thing. Hey Lou, I'm gonna leave you with this last question, man. I want you to give this some thought because you have just talking to you today and the audience get a chance to hear your backstory. You have accomplished many things. A man of the world, I like to call you. So Lou, What is your biggest accomplishment to date?
2 daughters.
There you go. All right. Gotcha.
Say that undrawn on me, but no, family. That's obviously the biggest accomplishment. I'm gonna close with a scenario
Okay.
that is pretty emotional, but I'll go through it with you. So,
Okay.
2010, I'm up for re-election. My daughter Lauren is struggling at Hofstra, hated it, which is where I went to law school. So it was like, all right, you want to go to Manhattan? Went to Hofstra. And that was her thinking. I'll go to a school that Dad went to. So Lauren is ready to drop out. Anyway, I lose the election. Lauren leaves Hofstra, and my wife's diagnosed with breast cancer in December of 2010, right after the election. So I go to we had a mayor's club meeting, and I'm in tears. And half the people knew why, half didn't. So anyway, thank God she's fine. She had the surgery in January 2020 of 2011. So a year later, I finally had my double knee replacement because I finally had no excuses.
That's right. We got that in common. We're Scar brothers there. Absolutely.
Yep.
You prepped me. I mean, you told me what to look out for and everything. So I appreciate you on that there, Lou. Continue, man.
And my wife made the appointment for me in August of 2012, and got the surgery. Never looked back. And I also was able to, refinance my office building and buy 10 condos in Point Pleasant Beach that are basically tripled and doubled in value.
Wow.
That's the scenario. 2010, dark. I mean, really dark, where I'm like, my wife's not going to live. I'm not going to be around anymore. Daughter's upset, So we wound up pulling Lauren out of Hofstra before the semester ended, and then she enrolled in Manhattan and felt better for a while. Anyway, she never finished. So anyway, so blah, 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 have the surgery, wife's fine, decide to run in 14, come up for re-election in 18. So what happens in 18? Lose re-election. Allison leaves Manhattan, and my wife's diagnosed with a mitral valve problem, needed open heart surgery.
Wow.
And I would say to my group, I just hope things don't happen in 3 again. If I lose, God knows. And sure enough, the same 3 things. Different daughter, different disease, but the common denominator is I lost re-election. So what happens in 2020, I refinance the building again and buy a shore house. So we did the exact same thing, not by design. Just, when I'm not in office, I'm dangerous. When I have time to my hands, I'm dangerous.
Right.
And find a great house right by the ocean in Orby Beach. So talk about transitions. A very dark time in 10. Pretty not as dark in 18 because frankly I had enough of being mayor.
Yep.
But again, you take your losses and your pain and you turn it into positive.
Absolutely.
And I also talk too much, but I'm going to give you one. Got a deadline or something?
No. The floor is yours, sir.
You've heard this. So I'm at my marina Bayhead wearing this very shirt.
Okay.
On Labor Day party with Joe Sanzari, who's a huge contractor in New Jersey. Everybody in New Jersey knows who he is, Joe Sanzari. He actually has a wing named after Manhattan Sac Hospital.
Wow.
Children's wing.
Okay.
So, up to me, grabs me by the shoulder, and what year, Manhattan, what year? So I'm like, I'm your president, class of 79. Oh, I'm 84. Where you from? West New York. Oh, I'm from North Bergen, next town. Make a long story short, turns out that he's COO of a company called SL Green. It is the largest real estate investment trust in New York City. Guys, you've heard of One Vanderbilt, the new tower that just got built? 90-story tower in Grand Central Station. They just built it.
Wow.
So then, I take my daughter to the president's dinner in the city because, she wanted to buy a new dress, so we took her. And take an itch. And we're talking, and by the way, we're talking in a group. You have to appreciate this. To our right was Ray Kelly. To our left was Tom O'Malley. And my daughter talked those, so she saw them. So we're talking Ed. And Ed says, if you want an internship with my company, Dad knows where to find me. All right. So
wow.
she said, he's wasn't serious.
Okay.
It was serious.
Okay.
So send the resume in, take her into the city. That night, it was Manhattan Fairfield away game. She calls us up. I got the letter. I got the internship.
Wow.
So, does the internship remotely, unfortunately, loves it. The last day, they take her up to the 90th floor of One Vanderbilt, in a joist, hard hat and everything, loves it. So my daughter, being my daughter, doesn't really follow up too much. She'll probably email or just, a letter. So what happens, I take her to the De La Salle dinner. And as we're walking in, that picture you saw, that was from the dinner.
Uh-huh, yep.
Walks right in front of us, Ed Piccinich. Hey, what's going on? I haven't seen you for 2 years. How's the boat? Blah, blah, blah. Long story short, he says, we're going to work. And she goes, maybe for my dad or something. I said, you can't work for me. I'm a lawyer. So he says, work for us. Send me your resume. So if that doesn't apple off of the story where, first of all, an internship with SL Green is like the gold standard. If you ask anybody, it's like facts. And she got that. Why? Because she's a Jasper. Okay? Gets this job, which I can't say she will when she graduates. That would just be amazing. So she now fully understands the importance of a Manhattan College degree. And I'm going to say it, I hate to say it, but I've heard this all my life. It's not what you know, it's who you know.
Absolutely.
So, and that's a story, and it's remarkable. And, he happened to sit at the table in back of us, so we would have seen him. But there was 3 there, Russ, right? So
yeah, absolutely. Yep.
Happened to be that exact moment. You may not have talked to him.
Yep.
So
it's all about timing. Life is all about timing and opportunity.
So Allison's like, cut it off. She just came up.
All right.
Hey, hi, Allison.
Nah, you look good, Allison. You're good. Oh, don't embarrass him there, Lou. Come on now, man.
I wear a Jet shirt. I mean, I'm about to. I'm in a Jet stand since '69, and I'm about to,
Well, Lou, man, but you summed it up. It's nothing like family, and I consider you like family. I owe you a lot, man. I really appreciate everything you do for the school. Everything you've done for me. Along the way. You are dubbed that super fan for no reason. For a reason, and again. Everybody out there listening, man. If Lou's on the case for you getting the Hall of Fame nod, you are getting in. You are getting in, no doubt about it. Because Lou takes that meticulous time to get the people in, and he's relentless, just like he is when he's practicing law as well. I could tell. I could tell that, Lou.
Thanks, Rob. I get it. Basically, work hard and be a Jasper. Those are 2 words, two phrases of wisdom.
There you go. Absolutely. Yep. We'll leave at that note. Hey, Lou, thank you for coming on, my man. Always a pleasure. And, man, be safe down there in Florida. Have some good time and have a Jasper drink on me, okay?
Just hope my daughter watches out for me.
Take care, Lou. Thanks again, sir.
Bye.
Okay. Bye-bye. All right. That was my guy, Lou Lamantino. Oh, man. Oh, always a pleasure seeing Lou. Man, great guy, great insight. The super fan. This guy has lived a life, man. A major life, man. I'm so glad that Lou was able to join us today. That was Lou Lamantino, ladies and gentlemen. So, ladies and gentlemen, Transition Army, if we were able to make you laugh, smile, and think during this broadcast, my good friends, you have accomplished something major today. Something major today. So celebrate your victory. Celebrate your victory. Alrighty? Hold on. Here we go. Themes music. Yes. Alrighty. Ladies and gentlemen, Transition Army, thank you for watching Transition Tuesdays each and every Tuesday. I appreciate that, guys. From the bottom of my heart, thank you. And you can check out our past episodes, and this episode here I'm going to post on our YouTube channel, Transition Tuesdays. And do me a huge favor. When you're on the channel, please make sure you like and subscribe while you're on Transition Tuesdays. I would greatly appreciate it. And if you haven't done so already, you can follow me on Instagram or IG, as the young people say, at Russ Will Transitions. That's Russ Will Transitions with an S. Follow me there. And a major super duper shout out to my special guest today, Lou Lamortino. Great insight, man. This guy was a mayor of a town in New Jersey, Emerson, New Jersey. Man, the president, former president of the Manhattan College Alumni Society, a practicing lawyer, super fan. This guy has amassed it. Oh, he has done it all, man. This guy, Lou Lamortino. So I am eternally grateful, Lou, for you coming on. Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. So, also, I want to talk about our sponsors before we head on out. Again, we talked about Native Of, okay, founded by entrepreneur Malik Means. Native Of is the signature brand of everything cool and conscious in the t-shirt and hoodie universe. Known for its inspiring logo and fit, Native Of will take your fashion game to the next level. So make sure you go to nativeof.com. That's NATIVEOF.com. Or you can go to Instagram _Native Of to get your merchandise today. Don't delay. Now, guests of our Transition Tuesdays receive a candy gift pack from our sponsors, compliments of Sweet Candy Cafe. Now, Sweet Candy Cafe is the home of Southern Sweetness, located in downtown Lumberton, North Carolina. So after the show, head over to sweetcandycafe.com and get you some confectionery goodies right now. They ship home and abroad. All right, so make sure you do that. And make sure you go to sweetcandycafe.com. Your mouth will thank you later. So, ladies and gentlemen, Transition Army, as we say in parting, I almost forgot, but I'll never forget this. As we say in parting, happy transitioning, and we'll speak to you soon. Take care, everybody. God bless.